quest for supremacy led two biker gangs to become rivals without limits. On May 14, 2022, a massive fight broke out between two popular biker gangs, the Hells Angels and the Pagans. What caused this sudden outbreak, and who won the war for dominance? On that day, a significant street fight erupted between the Hells Angels Motorcycle Club and their long-standing rivals, the infamous Pagans. More than 30 bikers clashed in a brutal conflict, with both sides suffering serious injuries. While investigators initially believed this brawl was an isolated incident, it was actually a small part of a much larger war for dominance, one that neither gang was willing to surrender. Since then, a trail of death, chaos, and devastation has followed, marking an ongoing colossal clash between these two titans. The conflict has claimed numerous lives and continues to this day. Before diving into the reasons behind this fight, let's understand who these clubs are. Who are the Pagans? The Pagans Motorcycle Club was established in 1959 in Prince George's County, Maryland. It started as a tight-knit brotherhood of just 13 members. By the late 1970s, the Pagans had become one of the largest outlaw motorcycle clubs in the United States, primarily operating in the northeastern region. During this time, they formed alliances with various criminal organizations, including the Blood Street Gang, the Philadelphia Mob, and the Latin Kings. Throughout the 1970s and 1980s, their growth continued, fueled in part by dominance in the methamphetamine trade in the Northeast. Their fortunes declined in the early 2000s as law enforcement investigations in West Virginia, Pennsylvania, Delaware, and New York led to the sentencing of over 70 Pagans, including the national president and several vice presidents, to lengthy prison terms on drug trafficking charges. Taking advantage of this weakened state, the Hells Angels capitalized on the opportunity. Who are the Hells Angels? The Hells Angels Motorcycle Club is a global outlaw motorcycle club known for members riding Harley-Davidson motorcycles. However, riding your favorite bike doesn't mean they are law-abiding citizens, often called by nicknames like the HA or Red and White. The Hells Angels are the world's largest outlaw motorcycle club, with over 6,467 members and chapters spanning 59 countries. The club was founded by Otto Friedli, a World War II veteran, after he split from the Pissed Off Bastards Motorcycle Club due to a feud with a rival gang. Another theory suggests the Hells Angels were founded on November 15, 1951, in San Bernardino by Dick White, a member of the Redlands Roadrunners. Several dramatic events followed the Hells Angels' takeover of Philadelphia, escalating into bigger clashes between the gangs. One major incident involved Thomas Woodman, who switched from the Pagans to the Hells Angels. The Hells Angels tried to persuade Woodman to abandon his allegiance to the Pagans and join their club. This went against the oath Woodman had sworn, Pagans forever. However, he ignored that commitment and in 2002, along with several other Pagans, joined the Hells Angels West Philadelphia chapter. The Hellraiser Ball Incident. On February 23, 2022, Vanderbilt Hall in Plainview, New York, hosted the inaugural Hellraiser Ball, a motorcycle convention organized by the Long Island chapter of the Hells Angels. The event featured motorcycle exhibitions, a tattoo contest, live band performances, and appearances by Chuck Zito, a former Hells Angel turned actor, and founding member, Sonny Barger. The organizers aimed for an elegant affair, even laying out a red carpet for distinguished attendees. The media, unaware of the bikers' criminal affiliations, happily snapped photographs. With over 1,000 attendees, the event appeared to be proceeding smoothly until shortly after 4 p.m. 10 vans arrived at the same location where, just an hour before, tuxedo-clad Hells Angels had stepped out of limousines and walked down the red carpet before an admiring crowd. Inside the vans were more than 70 pagans from across the East Coast, ready to disrupt the Angels' festivities. Gunfire broke out, injuring 5 pagans and resulting in 1 fatality. Police waiting outside arrested 73 bikers, and later, 66 of them were found guilty of federal racketeering charges. This bold attack by the pagans sent a clear message to the Hells Angels that they were not willing to back down, marking the start of an intensified battle for supremacy. Shortly after, the pagans struck again with the murder of Thomas Woodman, their former brother who had betrayed them and risen through the ranks to become acting president of the Hells Angels Philadelphia chapter. While driving on the I-76 expressway, Woodman was fatally shot by unidentified assailants. The murder officially remains unsolved, but law enforcement suspects the pagans were responsible. Woodman's violent death remains a mystery, especially since it nearly sparked a full-scale biker war with the pagans. The tragic incident happened around 1:40 a.m. on January 14, 2005, as Woodman drove a 2000 GMC pickup westbound on the Schuylkill Expressway. Multiple shots were fired at his truck, though it's unclear whether Woodman returned fire. Despite the passage of time, the case remains unresolved and casts a shadow over his untimely death. In the following years, the pagans focused on recruitment to strengthen their numbers and level the playing field against the much larger Hells Angels. They prepared quietly, like a lion stalking its prey before striking. To achieve this, the pagans relaxed their previous strict racial requirements and actively recruited many Hispanic street gang members. Over the next 2 decades, the pagans experienced explosive growth in membership. At one point, they considered expanding into Hells Angels territory in Quebec to open a second front in their conflict. However, this plan was abandoned due to the feared reputation of Canadian bikers in the criminal underworld. Andrew Glick, a former president of a New Jersey pagan chapter turned government informant, highlighted the danger of the Canadian biker scene in an interview. He said, "Being a pagan in Canada is more dangerous than being one in the U.S. New Jersey bikers are tough, but nowhere near as violent as what I've seen and read about in Montreal." In 2015, ROR became the gang's new national president after serving as the national sergeant-at-arms. He was released from prison in 2012 after completing a 14-year sentence for conspiracy to commit murder. Determined to solidify pagan control over the Northeast, ROR launched the Blue Wave Initiative, a large-scale recruitment campaign aimed at conquering the entire northeastern United States. His goal was to displace any rival groups encroaching on territory the pagans considered theirs. ROR knew the Hells Angels would not give up their dominance quietly, and the long-standing Cold War between the two was destined to explode into open conflict sooner or later. Attack on Jeffrey Shank. Tensions reached a critical point, leading to frequent confrontations. One notable incident occurred on April 24, 2018, when Jeffrey Shank, an associate of the Hells Angels, left their Newark clubhouse to refuel his motorcycle. Suddenly, 3 attackers armed with baseball bats emerged from a truck and struck Shank in the back of the head. He sustained fractured ribs and a collapsed lung. Death of Francisco Rosado. The Hells Angels opened a new clubhouse in the Bronx, an area long controlled by the pagans. Just weeks after their arrival, a large group of masked men on motorcycles fired automatic rifles at the clubhouse, severely damaging the building. Fortunately, no one inside was injured. In May 2020, Francisco Rosado, president of the Pagans Bronx chapter, was shot and killed outside his workplace by 2 masked men who exited a parked Jeep and opened fire, hitting him in the head and chest. These interconnected events escalated into a full-scale warlike conflict between the Hells Angels and the pagans. In the aftermath, who benefits and who loses?